A team of international experts led by the United Nations has launched a high-risk operation to transfer oil from an abandoned tanker.
It's quite a dangerous operation because a lot of things can go wrong.
The FSO Safer has been neglected and rusting 5 miles off the coast of war-torn Yemen for years, threatening to break apart and release more than 1 million barrels of crude into the Red Sea.
That would be an ecological disaster and it would be an economic disaster.
Here's a look at what's at stake during this race against time to avert an oil spill 4 times the size of the Exxon Valdez. The 1,200-foot Japanese-made Safer was launched in 1976 and later acquired by the Yemeni government in 1988 to store oil marked for export. But production, offloading and maintenance operations on the Safer were suspended in 2015 because of Yemen's civil war.
Houthi rebels, an Iranian-backed group in the north, took control of Sana'a, the capital, and also parts of the coast where the Safer is located. And since then it's been sitting decrepit off the Red Sea coast of Yemen, where the Houthis for several years prevented international inspectors and experts from accessing the vessel, even though there was an increasing risk of corrosion and of the vessel breaking apart.
International organizations and experts watched with alarm as the vessel's structural integrity deteriorated during the deadlock.
That changed in 2020 when a private company that the Houthis trusted got involved in the process, the Fahim group, and managed to convince the Houthis that an oil spill would also be detrimental to the Houthis, both because it would close down ports that the Houthis hope to use for oil exports in the future, but it would also close access to the ports for humanitarian aid that a lot of people depend on.
The United Nations is leading the operation to transfer the Safer's oil to another vessel, which it purchased for $55 million. It involves lining up the large crude carrier alongside the Safer. The tanks on the 2 vessels are connected by pipes, and the oil is being transferred using hydraulic pumps. The crew will need to keep the 2 vessels steady in open waters, while also watching for sea mines from the 8-year civil war that are known to drift in the area.
So one of the biggest risks of the past 4 years has been an explosion on the ship.
The systems required to maintain inert gas inside the chambers holding the oil are broken. These gases help maintain lower levels of oxygen, which reduces the combustion risk. Workers pumped inert gas into the tanks to prepare for the operation.
But there are other risks as well. Once the oil starts moving around, it's going to change pressure on the hull of the ship, which can cause it to break apart.
If the vessel ruptures or explodes, it will release the oil into a fragile ecosystem that will take an estimated 25 years to recover.
This area of the Red Sea is home to precious mangroves, coral reefs. It's got fish stocks which the local population depend on, and an oil spill would, at the very least, severely obstruct this narrow strait called Bab al-Mandab, through which a lot of global shipping travels every single day.
The United Nations estimates that a cleanup would cost more than $20 billion and would cause permanent damage.
And it would never be completely clean. You can't completely remove all this oil once it spills.
The UN has budgeted $143 million for the operation, which is expected to take 2 weeks. After that, the Safer will be towed to port and sold for scrap. The next challenge will be settling who will profit from selling the oil, about 95% of which is officially owned by the Yemeni government.
There's 2 parties here who claim to be the Yemeni government. There's the internationally recognized government based in Aden, and then there's the Houthis based in Sana'a. But that's a conflict that will be dealt with at a future time.